Good evening, chat. How are you doing? Welcome to this week's episode of Scrim School ScrimCast. I'm your host, Bobby Socks. I do PvP things, average at best. However, we run this dope podcast here called Scrim School. If you're new here, basically the format is we spend the first hour or so chatting with the teachers of the week. Then immediately after that, we jump into practical scrims and we pull in viewers from the chat to learn. Our guests this week are Onyx and Xalrena. I am hyped. Both of these two are huge Scrim players, huge Trials players, huge in the community. Definitely worth checking out. I'm going to undeafen, and let's get some intros out of the way. Hello, teachers. How are you? I wonder if Onyx knows that he's deafened.
Uh-oh.
I gotta crank you up a little bit.
There he is.
Hello. Oh, shit, I have to crank Onyx way up too.
Yeah, he's pretty quiet for me.
Well, that's tragic.
He's quiet anyway. Alright, we're gonna turn you up to 100.
I wasn't at 100 before. That's crazy.
An extra 100. We're at 200 now. Hopefully this
Damn.
works.
I hope so. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I mean,
All
I
right.
can turn it up if needed.
We got you cranked. I'm looking at the meters right now. We're looking okay. Hopefully this stays stable because I'm dipping frames like a motherfucker when this was starting. So, let's start it off. Why don't you two introduce yourselves? Who are you? What makes you tick? What's your fancies?
What makes me tick? I don't know. Nothing.
Nothing.
Destiny, no. Hold on. I take that back. Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 makes you tick. Destiny 2 breathes you life.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if that's what you meant, no. But yeah, let's go with that.
I thought you meant like what makes you
What pisses
ticked
me
off.
off.
Yeah.
No. This
Makes
is
me
your
full
chance
of
to
life.
introduce yourself. Yeah, like what do you do? What do you enjoy? Things like that. It doesn't have to be in game either. This is a chance for the students to learn who you are.
Bro, the only thing I do outside of streaming and gaming is binge watch Netflix shows or go outside.
That's
That-
good. What have you
that's
been
all I do.
watching?
Right now, I'm watching a show called Legacies. I've been binge watching that.
I haven't heard of it. I've been
I haven't either.
binge watching Fairly Odd Parents. Big on nostalgia trip right now.
That is a show I haven't heard of in a minute.
Oh God, me either.
Right? Yeah, I think it's new to Netflix. Pretty
Yeah.
I
nice.
thought you were just gonna end that with "it's new," and I was like, hold on.
Oh yeah, I know. I was like,
No.
wait, hold on.
No,
What's
like
new about
recently
it?
added to Netflix.
Got it.
That's something I have to watch. Full nostalgia trip.
All right,
I'm down
let's.
with
I like that. Legacy and Fairly Odd Parents on their free time. I respect it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I dig it. Let's dive into it. I mean, we're pretty far into the season already. How are we feeling so far?
We are.
In terms of PvP or just in general?
In general, and then we'll get into the PvP-ness. If you catch my
Alright,
drift.
well. We'll go first and get it out of the way. PvE, I can't say anything because I have not touched PvP at all.
Oh
Like,
wow.
nothing Witch Queen related, nothing. Don't have the dungeon, haven't done the raid, haven't done anything. Haven't even cared to do a red border. Like, I don't even know anything about that shit still. I just get on to stream PvP and then I get off.
Oh my
I
god.
am not kidding. That is all I do when I get on this game now. So I'm actually really out of the loop, believe it or not.
Part of me wants to be that way, but I just can't bring myself to let go of completing activities.
You're a
I'm
completionist.
just I'm drawn
Mhm.
away and then pulled in by
Absolutely.
another game. It's like, that's the thing.
You're like, my completionist is another game. I'll complete
Yeah,
that
like I must have all the new seals done. The last thing I need to do is solo duality, and it's definitely a weird time right now in Destiny.
Oh, for
one.
sure.
It is, most definitely.
Like, I've been recommitting myself to Crucible because that was my first passion in
So
Destiny
sorry.
at all. But I can still complete high-end PvE activities. It just feels so strange.
You know, I don't even know what to say about PvP. That's it.
I don't even know what to
Are you
say
having
about
fun?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to be negative, but you know,
No,
Whoa,
say
okay.
it.
Don't worry, we're gonna get into
No,
the
it-
nitty-gritties.
to me, it's enjoyable depending on the player. Like I've noticed, I can play against people who aren't like full cheesing and have an okay time. Like it doesn't bother me that much. It's the people who end up cheesing that just kind of ruin it for me for the rest of the day. So I've realized, yeah, there's a lot of broken stuff, but PvP can still be enjoyed to an extent. It's just if people decide not to use things to ruin your day, you know, that's it. But I also don't like, I don't want to like downplay what people use or anything like that, because at the end of the day, whatever you use is whatever you use, and if you have fun using it, then you have fun using it. I envy you for having fun in this game, so I don't care.
And
I get
some
annoyed in the
people-
moment, but I don't hold on to it.
And some people are not able to use the same things, like whether that's just because they don't have the time to build the skill, or maybe they have some kind of disability where they can't
Exactly.
like shoot a gun the same way that you or I could. So yeah, there's a fine
Exactly,
line of
so
I'm
it's
getting
like-
pissed off and I want to rage, but I get it.
Exactly. So it's like I never hold on to it. Like in the moment, I'll be like, "Oh, that's cringe!" Like in the moment, right? But it's nothing I ever hold on to. It's like as soon as the game ends, I'll even tell my chat, I'm just like, "Okay, I'm over it." You know? And I always like,
Yeah.
I always give the same speech. Like I don't care what you use. People are always like, "Why do you guys like?" I don't think I get that upset, but some people do ask, they're like, "Why do you get so annoyed about this and that?" I'm just like, it's just an in the moment thing. You know what I mean? I'm not like super vocal about all that now. Like I don't come off as like super pissed off or annoyed all the time, but you know, you can't help but complain when you play this game every now and then.
True.
But anything I say is never malicious. It's just in the moment annoyance. That's
Yeah,
it.
just heated.
That's it. So I might come off as an asshole, but I don't think so.
I just don't think so. No,
I mean,
we're gonna have some
to think I'm
definite. We're gonna dive into it pretty deep, especially the metas, things like that. That some of the pain points, honestly, and how you both have figured out how to, and I know it's kind of a dirty word at this point, adapt to them. So I mean, let's get the roughest one out of here, right out the gate. Classy Restoration and Radiant. What have you found that beats it consistently?
Like really the best way, right? Like there's nothing to really beat it, but to negate it in some kind of sense, right? Anything that applies a burn effect, right?
Yeah,
Right.
true.
To slow it down in some sense, but I still think it regens over it just slightly. But I mean that's really the best way.
You just
get them
run away.
lower. Or run, yeah. Like when I see that happen, I'm not even joking. When I see someone do that, and they have worm husk as well, I turn around and just say cringe and run away, and then I re-engage 10 seconds later. That's it.
For me, it's
But
been
to
more
beat it, I
of,
don't know.
for me, it's sniping, ripping their head off. They don't have a chance to regen then. And recently, I actually got into Lord of Wolves, and that's actually been helping a lot.
Lord of Wolves.
Lord of Wolves. Lord of Wolves is not something I've experienced too much as of recent. But then again, I haven't
Yeah,
really
it's
been
kind
playing
of a-
comp or trials, so
Yeah, that's
It
where it's
was
at.
rampant this past weekend in trials. And honestly, that's part of why I put it on. I was like, all right, fuck you guys. My turn.
Like,
Yeah,
listen
I've
here,
heard-
bitches.
I've heard it's really
I'll
good.
show you.
And I've seen that it's really good. I've just never I haven't experienced it much yet. Anyone who does use it, they're just not good at the game, so they can't kill me with it. So, it would have like I'd have to be in comp or like trials to like really experience that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't sound fun.
Ooh, chat's saying that as much as Lemon Arc is cheesy, it's a great counter to Classy.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
that's what I was saying. Anything that like
Lemon
applies
got
a burn
a-
effect.
Yep.
Yeah. Lemon got nerfed recently, so I don't feel like it's that bad anymore. And if you're using it strategically like that, I'm not even gonna like care at all at this point.
And I just stopped caring completely. It's worked out really well for me.
Like that's honestly the thing at this point for me too with Destiny. It's like, okay, we're clearly not an actually competitive game. At a certain point, you just have to let go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that is what I've been telling people for a long time. Let go.
Really?
Yeah, no, seriously, like let go. Like don't stop having hope. You know, like don't get your hopes up. For anything, you know what I mean? Like, oh, don't get me wrong. They did this last word nerf or whatever, but what else are they going to touch on if they even will? Like you can't expect much. They say they're going to do this and that. You know, it sounds like it's going to be a big update. Usually never is. Nothing really changes. It's whatever. Whenever a TWAB comes out, I don't even read it anymore. I haven't caught up with patch notes since, I don't know, maybe December of 2021.
Oh
I'm
my
not kidding.
God.
I don't read patch notes anymore. I only learn from my chat. I'm just like, yo, did this get buffed? Why are people using this? Why is this being used? This and that. Like, I've only been caught up with like the jump nerfs and like the shotgun nerfs and all that stuff because, I mean,
Oh God, we'll jump
Movement
into
and
the. Don't
shotguns.
worry, we're gonna get into the air efficiency.
but
I mean, we were both there at GCX.
oh yeah. Anyway, I lost track, but there's all that.
There's all that. No, I feel it. I do. I read the patch notes just because I want to see what Bungie's getting into, you know. But I definitely have learned to curb my enthusiasm when it comes to, you know, this is getting nerfed, and you're like, well, yeah, but sure, like sliding, right? Everyone
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
freaked out. They're like, we can't slide anymore. We can't do anything. I'm still
Sliding
hitting
is
slide
perfectly
snipes.
fine. Yeah.
Like,
Nah. So I think when I started like kind of not like preaching, but like telling people to like lose hope or whatever, or at least whenever I started to, is I think about halfway in the Shadowkeep with like all the cheaters and stuff.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
when I like really figured it out, and it was like slowly like it was like whenever first like when Shadowkeep first came out too, I was like partially the same way because of just the game was still going slightly downhill, and I'm like, okay, this is like a whole Destiny 1 thing again, where the game just constantly goes downhill and further downhill. It's just a downward spiral, and it keeps going and going and going. And that's what the game is like right now. And I feel like it's going to keep going that way. Yes, some things get better, but then things get worse. That's how it goes. It's always like one step forward, two steps back with this game. That's what I feel. And I've lost hope, and I don't care. I just get on to give people content. That's it. I don't care about the game anymore. I don't even play in tournaments anymore. That's actually how far I've gone with not caring. I'm done with like the comp scene or whatever. This game is not competitive, and it never will be.
It's not
They're
gonna
making
We
it
were
competitive.
supposed to be given something. That's all I'm gonna say. We were supposed to be given something, and it never happened.
Yeah, we're gonna get a competitive scene. It's gonna be a mobile game.
Oh, dude, lit. That is what I like to hear.
Call
Sign
of
me up.
Destiny.
My game sense will go wacky. Call me up.
They
I already have a little Xbox controller that I can Bluetooth to my phone. I'm ready.
there you go.
That's crazy.
That's funny. Yeah, that
But
they
you're
announced it. It was gonna be
absolutely
a
right
mobile
about
game.
TWAB. Like people freak out when they see the numbers, but it never translates to what people assume.
Oh yeah, exactly. Anytime someone sees adjustment, Twitter just blows up with "This is getting nerfed. I'm so upset," and then no one touches it.
It's
And then
gonna
a
be
couple
the
months later-
literal worst season ever for
Bro, I'm
this
not gonna lie to
weapon.
you. Destiny Twitter is brain damaging. It is brain damaging. I don't tweet for a reason. I tweeted one thing about like the air efficiency nerf or whatever, and it was a clip, and it was just to juice. Like that was it. I was like, I'm gonna farm impressions just because people cannot keep this shit out of their mouth for longer than a week. So,
It's true
yep.
though.
What do you know? It juices, and I'm just like, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
What do you know?
Oh, yeah.
You just
I do it all
talk
the
about
time.
what's happening in Destiny, and it's free. Like, yeah, you'll get people. It's funny. I had people still shit talking or whatever. Like, oh, this isn't the reason why, or oh, look at all the aim. I don't know, bro. It's so funny. I love Destiny Twitter. It's so brain damaging. I sideline. I never partake. I just sideline.
You can just post and then mute the thread easy.
I do
I
that
mean, pretty much.
all the time.
No, sometimes I leave the notifications on because I like getting like the random droid that just wants to hit me with some bullshit. I'm just like, yeah, that's something worth laughing at. That's a notification I wanted to see.
You're like, that one stays.
I mean, hey man, blow my phone up with some funny shit. As long as it's worth laughing at, I don't care.
Exactly. Corsa says, post it, but turn comments off. Just to watch people do the retweets.
Oh yeah, all the quote retweets. Oh my god, wait, that's another impression farm.
Oh yeah, because it brings it even higher if you get it quoted tweeted.
That is so funny.
Wait, genius, bro.
Yeah, honestly.
Big brains. All right, let's talk. I mean, we've talked about what's oppressive a little bit, but what stands out the most to you right now as the holy shit, this is broken, right? Because the broken word gets thrown around a lot. Everyone's like, this is broken, that's broken. No, what actually, in your guys' perspective, is really fucking busted?
Oh, dude. Okay, so this is a question I wish you'd asked when I'd actually like play trials and comp and stuff, because that's where all that stuff shines, and that's when I could like really experience that. So it's like I could say something and it might not be a popular opinion, but one thing I do know, I mean, someone in my chat just said Lorenz, but like I don't experience that, so I don't know. Yeah, that is a little annoying how you can slam someone in the head twice with a hand cannon and they're just like later, like no fun, and it's just go crazy, all of that, you know. Like, yeah, that's a little annoying, but that's not what I see often. It's more of like what I see super often, as in like the Titans who are just spamming overshields with their shields, and then their Ward of Dawns and all that stuff. You know, that stuff is a little oppressive when it comes to trials. I know that, or comp. You know, it leads to long games. I don't know what it
People are
is.
then forced to run certain supers and other weapons they don't normally want to run to combat the bubble.
Right.
Yep.
Like
There's
with
that.
a well, you can kind of, a lot of the times you can just snipe someone in a well, like, to be honest. Or break the sword. It's not that difficult, but the bubble's certainly more oppressive.
Bubble being a tier 5 super, well, maybe being a tier 5 super. I don't know. I mean, well might be a little. I don't know. I don't think well's that busted, but
No.
bubble.
Well's not
Yeah,
that
I don't know
bad.
why it's a tier 5 super.
See, I don't have an issue with well, just because usually people are dumb and they drop it in the wrong spot.
Right.
And then
That
you just walk
too,
away
yeah.
and you wait.
Right.
Bubble, where you get weapons of light, that shit lasts for an extra 10 seconds after they step out of the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like even
like-
comparing those two,
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like you can wait out the bubble, because there are a lot of people who mistime their bubble, or they'll like panic and pop it way early. So then that means you have to run to the other side of the map and fucking wait for them. Like, yeah, definitely classy and overshield bubble
so-
titans are my least favorite right now.
Yeah, that classy, the Wormhusk classy combo. I mean, that's all there. I don't know. There's something about this meta, but I have never played quick play so much. I've never gone to time so much before in quick play is what I'm trying to say. Like the game going to time, having it go 0 seconds. I've never seen it happen so much. Like literally, I remember I played one day, my first day ever in this new meta. I'm like, I've gone overtime more in one day than I ever have in my entire Destiny 2 quick play career. I was in disbelief. I'm serious. That's actually how bad the meta is. That control games go to time now. I can't backpack my whole team with a hand cannon shotgun anymore. The meta. I mean, it's like I'm not gonna complain because hand cannons and shotguns have always been on top, but like the fact that a majority of my games go to time now or almost do is pretty crazy, I think. And that goes to show how much the meta has shifted. 100%. Like that really goes to show, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's like what's all stood out to me though. I haven't played Trials or Comp or anything like that, so there's probably more that people know that I don't.
What I'm
There's
hearing
that.
is, Zal, we're gonna have to drag him through Trials this weekend.
Ooh,
That's what I
I'm
just heard.
down.
I'm like 40 under light. We'll see about that.
That doesn't matter. I did
Does
a
to
carry
me,
that
I'm
was
not-
110 under.
Bro, I'm gonna be doing like 50 damage, 5 tapping, and people are gonna be doing like 90 to me. That sounds really cool.
Plus the
All right,
restoration,
here's
so you're
the
actually
funny
doing sixes.
part.
Oh yeah, dude. I if it's Vostok, that'd be sick, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That would like reenact what I want to do. In real life. That'd be sick.
Fucking
off the cliff side.
Vostok, dude.
Flip side of Vostok, looking
All right,
real nice.
Zal, before we sidetrack too much further, what is, as you as a Trials and Comp player, what stands out as the most oppressive for you right now?
Oh, absolutely classy and the overshield bubble titans. It's just so frustrating.
Mm.
But that is me like wanting the game to be more competitive than it really is. Once I've been like coming to terms with the fact that it's not that competitive, it's less frustrating and more kind of funny now. Like coming up with all these creative ways to fuck over those people. It's like, oh, you thought your cheesy dumb shit was gonna help you. Get ran.
You're like,
I
psych.
don't know. Yeah. Except
Yeah.
earlier today, I had a fucking match where this classy, I think it was a hunter with healing nades. I shotgunned them twice point blank and meleeed and used my primary, and they won the engagement. Like, that's just bullshit in my opinion.
Oh,
It's,
good old Destiny 2.
Good old Destiny 2. I mean, Bungie said it themselves that Trials is their ultra competitive mode.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
The
good one.
pinnacle Crucible experience.
Yeah, ultra
Yeah,
competitive.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Pretty sure if you're playing a competitive game, you're supposed to learn. There's nothing to learn from playing Trials. It's just learn how to play more passive, or learn to regenerate your super quicker, or learn to have a better build. Like,
I would
there's
say-
nothing to learn from your gameplay.
Outside of everything that's happening as far as like abilities and shit, the passive play is the most frustrating to me.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so boring. I miss the days of just shotgun apes bonking their heads everywhere. Like, at least I had really fun, exciting engagements, even if I took the L every time. Like, come
It was
on.
challenging. It was a
I
lot
just
more
watched
challenging.
some droid AD strafe in a fucking rift.
Okay, or you watch somebody walk out of a corner with their back to you, but they got the no time to explain buddy that just shreds you.
Just flinches you.
I think it's even worse where you're chasing someone down that's one, and they go behind the rock, and then they come out and they're full health.
Yeah, that is something. Oh
Like,
yeah,
we used to
healing
report
grenades,
people for
too.
cheating for that, but now it's like, oh, it's normal.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you went behind that wall for a second? Oh, shit, you came back full health, maybe with an overshield too? Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
That's
we're like, that
normal.
guy's on the guap. Now it's like, oh, he's using healing nades. Word.
Yeah, bro, that's normal. All good.
All good. We wanted to be gunplay focused.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Maddox asked a question. He said, this is a question for both y'all. Who is one Destiny 2 content creator you have never played with that you'd like to team up with one day? Whether it be Trials, Comp, Scrims, what have you.
Interesting.
Onyx is like, I ask people and they play.
Nobody. Yeah.
Well, no, I literally do not ask anyone to play. And I also like don't keep up with Destiny that much or watch anyone. Like before, right? Like the only person I probably wanted to play with was Crafty, but now we actually have plans to play, so I can't really say that anymore.
Oh, that
So I
is
don't
so
know.
awesome.
I don't know who it would be anymore. But I've played with pretty much everyone that like was my inspiration when I was younger, because I was like 12, 13 years old playing this game back in Destiny 1.
Mhm.
I think the only person I've never played with is MTash, but he doesn't play this game anymore. Man, I don't know. Like I'd have to look at like a list or something because I can't think of anyone. I like don't actively like watch Destiny YouTube or even go on Twitch really. Like watch my friends type in their chat for a couple minutes and then back to doing something else.
For me, it's hands down Grenadier Jake. I would
Okay.
fucking die.
That'd be okay. It'd be cool playing with Grenadier Jake. I've never played with him, but that'd be cool.
I'm surprised
Like,
you
he's got
haven't
a
played
good
Jake.
vibe, and you can like chit chat in the middle of it. But then if it gets really serious, you know, he's down to get super serious. So it's cool.
No, he's cool.
That's a good one. Yeah, Crafty and Jake. It sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely Crafty's a runner up for me too. Like, if I'm playing a Warlock, I'm playing a Blink Lock because of him. So there's that.
It's funny.
I want to play with Tfue. I want to get Tfue back on it and play with him again.
That'd be cool.
Oh, dude, do it.
He got on for one game, matched a bunch of cheaters, and was like, "And I'm done." And he got back off.
Back in the cheater
Not
season, or is that
surprised.
Yeah.
recent?
It was the cheater season.
Yeah, that's when he decided to play the game again.
Yeah, he like came in for like the first week of trials, and he's like, "Yeah, trials, this is gonna be great." It's like right before Battle Eye, and his first game on was against cheaters, and he's like, "And I'm done," and like closed it down. That was a good question, actually. I like those.
Yeah, that's why I was like, interesting. Gotta think about that.
I like those ones, the off the wall ones. All right. So, what is your favorite map in the game or out, and why?
Burnout.
Really?
Oh, really? Jinx?
Well, I always had a thing for Burning Shrine in Destiny 1 as well.
Okay.
Yes, it was a good map. I loved it. I love the layout. I just love the environment, the surroundings, like how everything is built, everything. I think it's just a beautiful map. Even with how it is now, I wish they still had the sun, but it's not a thing anymore. That's what made the Burning Shrine really nice.
Yeah,
But-
Shrine is gorgeous.
I mean, regardless, Burnout still like holds a place in my heart because of just Burning Shrine itself. So yeah, I mean, it's still my favorite. Even though what's funny is that that might be my worst competitive map. Like that might be the map I play the worst on. Hilarious.
But so you like more the aesthetic than the movement and stuff like that.
In a way, but I also think it's a really nice map to play on. Like I think it plays very well, depending. But yeah, I like it still. I love the layout, everything. But the aesthetics do win me over in a way in comparison to some other maps.
Right.
So maybe I am quite biased. That's okay.
That's okay. All right, Zal, what you got?
For me, it's Retribution.
Ah,
I want that map
knew
back
it.
so
Retribution.
bad.
Oh my. That's
The
what
Death
that map's called.
Donut is unmatched.
There are crazy
Right?
clips on that map. That map is
And so much fun. I was so angry when they got rid of it. One day, hopefully, they'll bring it back.
Isn't your favorite map? I'm sorry, I forgot to mute.
I'm sorry, I forgot
What's
to
so
mute.
funny?
Potato was like, you mean to say that Eternity isn't your favorite map?
Oh, good God,
And it's just-
no.
I just wasn't expecting to hear that.
Potato doesn't even know Eternity. He's a Val streamer now.
The other 9 map was pretty cool. I can't remember what it was called.
Equinox.
Yeah, that one was all right. I think that would have played a little better since it was more open during this season than Eternity. But who knows, really?
Equinox, that like huge fucking map.
Yeah, that map was
It was
massive.
kind
It's
of
like an
built like a
L.
triangle or an L. Yeah, there you go. That's a better way
Yeah.
of putting it. I was thinking.
And then
it
it had
from a
like the
completely different
heavy in between, like a diagonal.
perspective. Yeah, that's kind of why I thought it was like a triangle. I was thinking of it from that perspective.
Yep. I think
Basically, an L. That map is weird.
Yeah.
I really liked the I don't know why, but I really liked the Mars maps. Retribution, Meltdown, Solitude. All those maps to
Yeah.
me played really well, and they're all gone.
They
Shocking.
did. They all felt definitely more competitive. They felt like truly like well-designed maps for a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
The Vostok was a good choice to bring back. Yeah, I agree.
10 out of 10, yes.
What we wanted for sure. Yes.
I'm just waiting for Vostok to be the Trials map, and nobody touches it.
Vostok and Eternity coming back in the same season, though, that hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy Eternity. I do like Eternity as a map. As
It
crazy
can
as
be
that sounds.
okay. It's
like it.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mostly I've played it as 6s, and like it's tough.
Yeah,
and then
no
3s,
doubt.
it's just like fucking sitting on that cliffside waiting for somebody to peek, pretty much.
Yep. Or flying up through the doorway, and then just holding that lane right there where the flag spawns. All right, I see a question in Onyx's chat that says, what is the inverse? What is your least favorite map?
See,
And
that's
why?
something I don't know. I actually
That's
have never thought about that.
really tough.
Good, we're asking the hard questions
Okay.
out the gate.
Because you know it's hard because there's more good maps than there is bad maps. 80% of the maps in this game are bad. Well, if they were unvaulted, maybe the percentage would be dropped a little bit, but
Yes.
current maps, yeah, you know,
I mean-
there's just too many bad ones to really find out what is the worst.
I'm
Well,
gonna have to
actually-
agree with Maddox.
Wait, Disjunction. That is the only
That is,
map.
thank
I
you.
back
That's
out on.
exactly.
That is
That's
the,
what
I
I
had
was
to
gonna
think about
bring
it.
up,
I had to think
yeah.
about it. That Emperor's Respite, not in the game though, Potato. But
Emperor's Respite was a good map compared to some of the ones that we have now. Like,
okay, it was okay. But no, like I thought the Citadel was bad, dude.
oh god,
Disjunction.
Citadel was horrendous.
Disjunction.
I didn't
I see the map
mind
and I change
Disjunction
characters.
at first, but after today, I did about 7 hours of survival straight. Disjunction is ass. I've been
Disjunction's
converted.
Disjunction's terrible. I mean, it's got to be up there for me with like a hold up, fucking Legion's Gulch. That was the one I was thinking of.
With the
Legion's
little
Gulch was-
teleporters in the bridge.
No, yeah, the fucking monstrously sized map that had like
It's
the
like
giant walk over the top and
bullshit.
yeah. I could not stand
I
that
don't
map.
hate that one, but as a 3v3, that would probably be dog shit.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm glad that one's gone. I really am. There's so many that I would want to bring back, but I have a feeling if we start talking about which ones to bring back, they'll be like, we brought back Legion's Gulch. We brought back Citadel. We wanted to be competitive, so we gave you Citadel and Legion's Gulch.
And we removed Jav 4 and Burnout.
Oh god,
You're
could you
welcome.
imagine the riot?
Yeah, I would not be in this game anymore.
There would be the biggest riot ever if Jav was pulled. Like,
Yeah, Katy Perry's on.
what?
I'm bad.
Just Katy Perry's on.
Yeah, bro, she just came on the Spotify.
Which
Teenage
song?
Dream.
Oh, I
is.
like that one.
Shout out Katy Perry.
All right, we had a oh, here we go. I have a really good one. I have people that like DM me throughout the week with questions because all of this is off the cuff. I don't write down any of my questions. I don't plan anything out. I'm like, well, how's the conversation going? But this is a good one that I know a lot of people want to hear. Can you break down the differences between different competitive modes and how you strategize against it? Like, how is Trials different from Survival, different from Scrims, different from Comp? And how do you play differently on it?
So, I don't know because it kind of just depends on like your confidence in your own skill, I think. But like for me, right, in terms of survival, off the rip, I always try and get a pick and then collapse on the last two, so that it's automatically 4-1, and then you're forcing them to play their life, and it has them scared, and you can use that momentum and keep on pushing them back, and then knock them out. and continue to play like that. When you're down lives in survival, you're playing against a good team. I mean, you have to team shot to get one guy down and then kill the last two, and then you just have to like keep on snowballing like that, because once one person dies, it's pretty hard to clutch up, I feel like, sometimes, especially with some of the maps that they chose to put in the map pool. So it's like with survival for me, it's just I just run it down, try to get a pick, and then wipe the rest of the team. Or if not, if it's a good team, I play back, I play my life, you know, and I just try to go for a pick. I try to team shot the best I can, because that's what other people will be doing as well. With this, how this meta is, you kind of just have to play passive. With survival, you don't have to play your life too much, so you don't have to be too afraid to be aggressive. But you also don't want to int and completely throw, you know, the first round or whatever, throw your first life and not come back from it. You know, that's the thing. You still have to play somewhat careful and still play your life a little bit. You can't just throw it away like it's quick play. You know, you're limited. But you can throw it away a little bit more in comparison to trials, because once you die in trials, I mean, you don't just respawn. You have to spawn back up. I don't know. That's the thing. In trials, you have to play your life pretty hard and be pretty smart, and every decision really does matter. While in comp, I don't know. I feel like there's more leeway, in a sense. It just depends.
I would agree. You can definitely come back easier in survival.
Yeah, I mean, you could change your playstyle, stuff like that, and adjust that way.
And even if you're down lives, like, it's not too difficult to get the enemy team caught up to you as far as lives go.
You also have a lot more chances to try different things against the team you're playing against in comp, because of how many lives you have. While in trials, you only have so many chances to figure out how to play against the team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's another thing about comp. That's why I feel like it's lenient, is because you can learn how to play against a team a lot quicker because of how many lives you're given. While in trials, it's kind of like one and done. Okay, what can I learn from my mistake here? While you can die 3-4 times in a single round in a comp and be like, okay, well, I made these 4 mistakes, or however many you made, learn from it, and you learn how to play against that team better, and you do better against them. That's I don't know. Comp is just more lenient in a way. And I don't know if I want to say trials is more competitive because of that. In a sense, like technically, I guess, right? But the way trials games play out, it's just so hard to say that there's any form of, like, you know, competition or like competitiveness in that game mode. I don't know.
Yeah.
But still, they put it on the competitive spectrum, so
For me,
that's the best way I could differ.
I would agree with all of that. Scrims, I don't think of necessarily in a competitive sense as far as winning. I think about it as, okay, where have I been lacking in this previous week? Because I do scrim basically every single week.
Yep.
So I can say, like, okay, I'm missing a lot of headshots with my sniper, so I'm gonna focus on hitting headshots specifically with snipers. And that's the only thing I'll really work on. Like, scrims for me is like homework time.
That's good. I like that, actually.
Not to be too dorky about it.
That's the whole point, really. I mean,
honestly, yeah.
To learn. I mean, like, yes, you're there to win, right? But, you know, you're also there to learn, because you can't win without learning. It's as simple as that. It's the only way I've gotten where I'm at is from learning. I didn't just, like, all of a sudden just like, yeah, bro,
start hitting
God
shots.
I know game now. Yeah, I just play the game every day. No, I don't think about what I do, but I know what to do now. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
some people
like,
get
when you
crazy
scrim,
egos in scrims, though.
yes,
it's wild.
People, I mean, there's just nothing. I don't know. I've seen it since Destiny 1. I don't know what it is about this game, but it inflates it like something else. There's something in the water, I'm telling you. But,
it's not water, it's Vex milk.
Something like that. It's something. That's all I know. But no, scrimming is to learn, and Yes, you're there to win, like I said, like a broken record, but learn the best you can. Like, even like VOD review. VOD reviewing is really good too. If you're scrimming, even if you're not streaming, you could just record your game and then go back and like really see what you did, or even like acknowledge things you didn't even know that you did that was wrong, and then you can improve it right then and there. It's actually really helpful. I've
That's
done it
one of the
myself.
hardest things for me. Like, yeah, I stream. Yeah, I'm on camera every single day, but like watching my own gameplay back, especially if it's on Twitch VOD, I get like
Mm-hmm.
so
That's
cringed
understandable.
about myself. Like,
No, I don't blame you. Like I get that, right? But if you just happen to like not be streaming and you just recorded those games, and
I would
I
probably
mean,
feel a little better.
yeah,
That's
it's not
actually
like
a really, really big suggestion that I don't think people really catch on to. Watching your playback and seeing what you did wrong is fucking huge.
you can
It's
ask
huge.
any pro in like any first person shooter. That's what they do. Any
Yeah.
Apex pro, any Siege pro, any Val pro, their coaches in professional teams, they will literally go review VODs after scrims or a tournament and see what the other team did and see what they did, and just try to figure shit out to obviously break down and figure out what people are doing wrong, what they could do better, and also figure out the other team's mistakes so they can capitalize on that until that other team can fix their mistakes as well.
Mhm.
It's like a back and forth of just shitting on people because they're making these mistakes, and it's just a constant cycle of that.
Yeah. Especially with
funny.
all the meta changes, the armor changes, the weapon changes. Bungie's focus on eliminating hand cannons from the game.
Love Bungie.
Although I feel like this season I'm actually sticking to hand cannons pretty well. I also have recently started using SMGs, which are pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, SMGs are really, really potent right now. If
The
you know how to use
flinch that
them.
SMGs give me, oh man, it's gotta be some of the worst horizontal flinch I've seen in my
It's
life.
so insane.
I'm just like, how do I aim when my hand cannon is strafing for me? Like, what do I do? I'm trying to control the uncontrollable. What do I
Right.
do?
I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to hold it, guys. Come on.
Dude, I'm just getting pounded in my head by a fucking SMG.
But did you build into stability?
Nope.
You gotta build
That's-
into things now, that's right.
Yeah,
I
and you
just
can't
adapt.
see the stats.
It's okay.
I just
Game
started
is so
aiming
cool,
with.
but so bad.
I just started aiming at everybody's chest with my sniper because I know I'm gonna get flinched directly into their head. They still haven't
That's
fixed
true.
that.
That's like the thing I can't get myself to do. I just always aim at head level, or always try to go for the headshot. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You can ride flinch still.
Oh yeah,
That's not too hard.
the fact that that's still a thing is insane. That you can time your flinch so that your first flinch is off the head, the second flinch is on the head, always.
Yeah, you can time
Mm.
it depending on where you're aiming.
I just started aiming at the chest because I know I'm gonna get flinched directly up every time.
And you get flinched,
Yeah, you don't have
let
to
it
ride
drop
so
for a sec,
much.
then bam.
I don't even drag it. I'm just like, bink, flinch, headshot.
Hey, maybe I should just start doing that.
That's what I'm saying. It rewards bad aim. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Oh my god.
It's
Never
made me
seen
a better,
system.
it's made me a more competitive sniper, guys. All right, we got a question from Valor. He said, "How do you feel when you load into a survival match and there's only 2 people on your team and 3 on the other? Do you change your playstyle or just know you're gonna steamroll and call it good?"
Depends on who's my teammate.
We're gonna call
So-
it Johnny Blueberry.
All right, well, whoever the fuck Johnny Blueberry is, I don't seem to know him. So, therefore,
He's getting baited.
therefore, oh hell yes.
He's
Hell
getting
yeah.
baited hard.
All right, if I don't know that he's talented at the game, I'm going to bait him. I'm going to let him do damage. I'm going to watch him die. I'm going to swing the same angle, clean up, and try and isolate 1v1s the best I can. and try and win us the game. So I don't worry too much because that's one less person on my team that can die and waste lives, right?
True.
And I just have to trust, like I just have to put the trust in myself that I can hit all my shots and get the kills that I need, and I like actually try. That's the thing. When it comes to like in a 2v3 survival game, I actually have to try. Like I'll start jiggle peeking everything. I'll start peek shooting everything. Like I will try and just get chip damage in all the time. I will not let people get free damage on me. I play passive. I guess you can say I play passive but aggressive at the same time. It's weird.
Like you're
As soon
putting
as I get
pressure
some,
on the radar,
exactly,
but
I
you're
close.
not making dumb choices.
I try to close gaps, isolate 1v1s, and put in the most damage I can while taking the least amount of damage I can so I can clean up the kill easier. I'm always looking at my radar, my health bar, and the damage that I'm doing. It's all a mental note in my head. I always look at my radar too because I need that self-awareness too, because I'm in a 2v3 and I might be 1v3ing everything too. So when it comes to that, there's a lot of thinking going on in my head, where I'm at on the map, my surroundings, the people around me, my health, the damage I'm doing, how far or how much damage my shotgun will do from X amount of range, or will my melee range hit from here, or oh, did I just do this amount of damage so I can hit my melee? Yes. Blah blah blah. A lot of thinking goes into it. But I don't like stress out. Especially like I almost feel better that I have one less person on my team to throw their life away. Because if
Yeah,
I'm
you have
solo queuing in a
control in a
comp,
weird way.
yeah, if I'm solo queuing in a comp, I feel like I'm 1v3ing half the time anyway. So honestly, it's just one less thing to worry about. But
Lobby
at the same
balancing.
time, it's one less
Smell.
person to bait.
Lobby balancing smile.
Love to see it.
I
So-
honestly don't solo queue very often. Either I'm doing raffles or just helping a buddy, or like I play survival mostly for others, not for myself. If I solo queue, I'm looking to take a 1v2 or a 1v3 on purpose. I'm looking to push my limits if I'm solo queuing survival.
I solo queue in the beginning of the season, and that's like for content, and then that's really it. But yeah, I usually it pushes my limits too, because I'm usually like, it's always like high 20s, 30 kill games, mid 30 kill games, just to win half of the games that I'm playing.
Right.
Like I love when you see last Guardian standing and the other team still has 3 lives left. Oh, I love clutching those rounds up.
Those are fun rounds though. Those are the ones that get our rocks off though. You know, feels good.
Little 6K like it's nothing.
Yeah, drop the 1v6 for the content, bro.
It's fun. Like, I can't lie, it's fun.
So
Sometimes.
what if you could give the students any one thing to work on, what would it be? Like if you could if there was one thing that you'd say like today, jump on and work on this to be better.
Well, this one is I'm gonna do one for Destiny and then one in general for any FPS really. Crosshair placement, work on it if you haven't already. If you are still looking at the ground while running or anything like that, stop. Always be aiming at like chest level or head level or something like that, so you don't have to adjust your aim up or down towards the person, making it easier to hit your shots. It's just less movement that you have to make with your arm or your thumb, whatever input you decide to use, or your wrist, whatever. Anything like that. All right, so that's a general one. Work on that if you haven't already.
Are you watching my streams? Hello.
No, but I see people do it. All right, and then number 2, for Destiny 2, stop sitting in your like scope or your sights for so long and look at your radar every now and then. You always need to be aware of what's going on around you. Otherwise, you're not gonna know where people are at, and you can always mentally, like, I don't know, I guess for me, I can like imagine things in some kind of way. I will place where I think people are at on the map in my head, So I always know when to pre-aim after I'm done with my first kill and I'm moving on to the second or something like that. You just always want to be aware of what's going on in your surroundings, where your teammates are at maybe, but I worry more about the enemies. Just your radar seriously is your best friend in this game. I promise you. I feel like this game is 70-80% radar. Like,
Yeah,
seriously, keep an eye on it. You do
absolutely.
not need to sit in your scope for so long, because someone will shoot you in the back, or someone will just pull up on you, you know, somewhere beyond your peripheral that could be just directly to your left. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just do that. The radar literally gives you so much information. It'll help you be so much aware of where people are at, and it'll help you get kills and expect where people are going to be and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I
good.
was gonna talk about radar too, but you already did it.
I
There
said
you
one
go.
thing. He's just bad at listening to directions. All
There you
right,
go.
Zal, what do you got? Give me one thing that you would recommend to bring people from that, maybe I'm okay, maybe I'm trying to get better, to here I actually feel like I'm getting better.
One thing that I do or did a lot, now I've kind of done it less, I want to revisit it, is I would do focused gameplay in quick play. Like, one of my favorite things to do is escape practice. Like, I would purposefully put myself in danger, not take a single shot, and then can I escape? What's my route to get out of there? How am I gonna get away from this bad
Ooh,
situation?
I really like that. You're
That's a good
practicing
one.
pathing. I really like that. I've
Mm,
never heard anyone out loud say that. That's actually really
really?
good. Never
Yeah,
heard
in
anyone say
quick
their opinion on
play.
that.
I'll do
Oh, that's
other things
crazy.
too, but that's one of my favorite ones. Like, one, I'll just practice moving cover to cover. How can I most safely traverse a map cover to cover? And then, I don't know. How can I just different weird stuff like that? I'll do like focus training. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take 5 games or 10 games. Like, I play a lot, so 10 games
Mm.
to me is like whatever.
Right. But I mean,
Dude,
that's
map knowledge will help
huge.
so much with pathing and all that too. No, that's actually like, I actually really like hearing that. That's crazy. 'Cause I used
Or
to do the
like, how
same
can I get
thing.
heavy control? Yeah.
I would purposely put myself in like 1v3, 1v4 situations, and that is literally how I got better. I put myself in what seemed like unwinnable situations, and I would figure out how to win it simply by traversing myself around an area of the map and isolating 1v1s. Like,
Yeah,
and
that's
I like that
huge.
you like go out and put yourself in that kind of danger, because that's what I used to do, and it helped me so much, and I wish other people would do that. Yeah, like, yeah, it sucks. You like in the beginning you could get like fucked on, but like,
Right.
But that's
I'm
why you
serious,
do it
it
in quick
helps.
play.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's
Doesn't
no
matter.
real penalty. Yeah, your ego shouldn't be bruised by losing a quick play game.
Yeah, if you genuinely want to get better, you will let yourself get shit on. You will let yourself learn. Don't be stubborn. Let it happen. Learn
Hmm.
from it. That's what I try to tell people.
Yeah, no
And take
doubt.
criticism too. Don't take it personal. Criticism helps.
That's a good one
I
too.
used to
That
take that
So
shit
one's
personal.
tough,
Little
cause like
15-year-old me, I used to get so pressed. I thought everyone was trying to insult me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
there's like a fine line though, cause sometimes like people will try to say something, but like once you reach a certain level, it's like, okay, you're giving me advice for your play style. There is nuance.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
is true. Yes, I've always like, and anytime I try to give people criticism too, I'm always like, you may have a different play style, and I'm trying to like see it from your perspective. So I try to give the best advice I could, in that sense. You know what I mean? People just kind of have to put themselves in another person's shoes to like really
Hmm.
see, you know,
Yeah.
before like giving really pointless advice, and then they just keep on going on, and they sound like a broken record. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. I'm not learning. Like, you're just wasting your breath.
I do want to add something
Yeah.
on to Zal's. One thing that helps a ton with what she was saying with her putting herself in danger and playing covers, map awareness.
Yes,
Knowing
that's what I mean
where
by
your
map
cover
knowledge too.
points are. Yeah. Knowing where your covers are, knowing where your movements can be, knowing how you can peek in and out of walls, of boxes. There's so much to hide behind and around if you know how to play it.
And that's how you can
Mhm.
isolate 1v1s too, is by using all those obstacles around the map.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I mean. So yes, very, very good.
That they tied both of those together, and I loved that one. That was actually one of the best answers that I think I've gotten
Oh, that was pretty
so
good.
far on this from both of you.
Oh yeah.
I love that because I mean everyone says use aim trainers, run scrims. Like it's super dry answers. These were in depth,
No,
very
it's
very
not all.
specific.
Yeah, it's literally not all about that. It's literally not all aim. Like I'm telling you, like what I've experienced by playing, I don't know how many games now, like competitively. It is so much more mental, and actually there's so much more to learn mechanics wise than there is than just aiming and playing the
Mhm.
game. Yeah, playing the game, you just telling someone to play the game just sounds like you don't care, especially if you don't elaborate in some kind of sense.
Yeah,
It sounds like
exactly.
you're throwing some bullshit answer because you don't care, you know. There's so much more to just playing the game and learning how to aim. It's so much deeper than that. You can simply destroy people with really good aim just because you have better game sense than them. Now
Yeah.
that comes with playing the game, yes, but you know, you could
Like
do a
if you're
lot
just
in your
running
own.
around and not thinking, like you're not gonna improve.
Yeah, you don't have to
Exactly.
have really good aim. You could just implement like the things that we're saying about, like, you know, putting yourself in those really dangerous situations, or your radar, this and that. It's just there's little things that you can do that can help you get more kills rather than having better aim to consistently get more kills, right? You can have good aim but not know how the game works, not know how, you know, how the strafe speed works, or how quick people can move. You know, you don't know how to track it, or you don't know how the radar works, or you don't know where
Like
people could come from. You don't know off angles or common angles, stuff like that. You know, it's
or if their abilities are on cooldown or
exactly, it,
yeah.
it runs so much deeper than just learn how to aim.
Yeah,
Seriously.
exactly. All
Like
right, hold on.
you see all these like low KD players, right? They get like, they play really well for a game, and it's simply because they kind of know how to play the game. They just don't have the best aim, so they're inconsistent. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not uncommon for a random 1.2 to have the game of their life, you know? Because I also remember myself being like, I knew how to play the game, but I was inconsistent with my aim in a way. So
Yep.
I would always have this one game, like that one game where my aim was really good, so everything finally worked in harmony.
You're
So
at the
it's
right place at the right time.
exactly, so it's not uncommon for a low KD player to absolutely stomp like a I don't know, like a 2.15 KD player or something. It
Mm.
happens.
Just called me out. True. Um, let me hold up. Minimount had a question. It says, "How do you usually measure your own progress, or is there a way to measure it?"
So this might be for a lot of people because it was like this for me as well. I never saw improvement, right? It never felt like I was improving until I actually looked at like clips and stuff like that, like old clips, and
Oh
comparing
my
them to the new
god.
clips. You
Yep.
think you make no progress, right? Or no improvement, and then you really
Because
look.
you still see where you can improve.
Exactly, like someone I knew,
Yeah.
right? So she was like, "Oh, I'm not getting better at this game. I'm not getting better." I'm like, "Okay, let's look at the old clips and let's look at the new clips." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I see clear improvement, and I can call out all the improvement that there is, right? It's just you don't really see it or acknowledge it until you actually see it without living through the moment of actually playing the game, I guess, and not really seeing it back. I don't know how to explain it. That was confusing. Um,
No,
No, it
that
makes
makes
sense though.
sense to me.
okay. Um,
You have comparisons of your own growth instead of
right.
just in the
So
middle of the game when you're thinking you're frying for a game versus actually
you're
improving.
not playing, you're not in the middle of a game like, oh, am I improving, as you're just fucking dicking on kids, you know? Like, I don't think you're thinking of that. You're thinking of how to kill people in the game, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so in a sense, it's kind of hard to measure your improvement unless you're just built different from me. But um, mostly it's just looking at old clips and then seeing the new clips, you know? That's how I can see it. Um, if you care about your aim, a way to acknowledge improvement is, one, also the clips thing work, and two, um keeping
You can
track of
check your
scores on like aim
report.
labs or Kovacs if you do aim streams.
Yeah.
That's if you care about aim. That's what I'm referring to.
Or even in like Crucible.report, it'll tell you your percentage of headshots
That
in
too, yeah.
game. So if you want like a tangible thing, you can look at that. Personally, I would say living more is good. You could look at like your KD, really. Yeah, there's a lot of websites, trials.report, crucible.report, and you can see tangible numbers if that's a better rubric for some people to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. And you're not going to see the growth, like massive growth, same day. This is overtime,
No, not at all.
and I think that's
That's
what
the
a lot
thing.
of
It
people
takes a
forget.
minute.
Yeah, they're
It
like,
takes a
I want to get
while.
better. I want to get better. And you're like, you are getting better just by learning what you're doing differently.
Took me a
Alright.
year to become the player I was in this game.
That hurts me. You cut me deep, Onyx.
That
I'm
was
like
like
7
playing
years in, and
12
I'm finally
that
getting
was like-
better.
I was like 12 hours a day, every single day, like scrimming though, like
Right.
absolutely nerding out. Cause like I had like the crazy drive and determination to get better at the game. Like it was crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been a
Power.
crazy journey for me because, like, I've always been torn. Like, do I really want to focus fully on PvP? I do enjoy the occasional PvE, and like, it's good for my stream to Sherpa PvE activities.
Right.
That's why I said earlier, like, I have a renewed passion for PvP.
Right.
So I definitely had kind of a stagnation for a while in that like limbo state, but I'm happy to say I'm fully in it now.
Well, welcome back. Let's see how long it lasts.
Right?
Yeah, right.
That's what I think it is. I don't think
Yeah.
it's ever a long-term thing.
It's I'm running on board.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I mean, I've been playing for 6 years. I've never
True.
like stopped playing PvP. It's just been like a split
More of, like,
focus.
Yeah, it's more of like how you split your time between the two. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So even though I was like, okay, I want to get better, I could only devote at most 50% of my time to it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with that. All right, we had a question. Where did it go, Reapers? Reaper says, when's the best time to know, or what is your prediction for the best time to change up your playstyles in a game? Like, do you change up your playstyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When your playstyle isn't working,
Yeah.
right? If you're, let's say you have a playstyle that you win every game with, right? And then there's just that one game where you, let's say for trials, for example, right? 2 rounds in, what you're doing is not working. It's not because you have bad aim, it's not because you're missing or anything. You're just doing something wrong. Your playstyle, they know how to counter you. That's the problem. Therefore, you have to change up how you play. Are you pushing too hard? Are you catching yourself in a 1v3 all the time? Are you not with your team? Blah blah blah. Like, if you don't have the chance to shoot people, you're probably doing something wrong. So you got to switch it up. You got to stick with a teammate more. Do you got to play a little more passive? Do you kind of have to let them run into you? Do you have to bait them? It kind of just, it's like a trial and error process until something kind of works, right? So yes, you know when to change your playstyle when it's not working.
I like that.
That's like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, 'cause, I mean, you should know when, like, say you always win with a certain playstyle, and then suddenly you're not. I mean, yeah, the player might be better, but you could also, I mean, in that sense, you change your playstyle still to try and beat that kind of player.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of just have to figure out how to change your playstyle. So you can figure out the when part, but then it's like, how do you change it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
And what
next
do you put
part.
on? What do you run?
After so much time of playing, you can kind of like understand what your enemy is thinking. Like if I start a game as a sniper
pattern.
and I see that nobody is peeking any like traditional sniper angles, then I'm probably gonna take off the sniper and be like, okay, they're not giving me their head. Like I gotta switch it up and try a different tactic on them.
You gotta realize everyone kind of has a pattern. If you
Yeah.
you have to realize that, right? Because you're asking me when to change your playstyle. Everyone has a playstyle, so there's always a pattern to it. Whether they change their angles every round or not, that's still a pattern. They're changing their angles. Whether they hold an angle for a couple rounds or not, that's still a pattern, right? Everyone has a pattern, and you kind of just have to figure that out and learn how to counter it. And then once you break that pattern, then they're forced out of their comfort zone to play differently as well, right? Therefore, you keep on shattering each other's play styles. Therefore, it creates a close game. That's where you see those 4-4 games, right? It's just a back and forth of like figuring out how the opponent plays. And good players will be able to figure it out round by round.
Switch it up to try and test it out and see how the adjustments work. Saw a question. I do like the question that's in your chat actually. Javier says, "What do you do when facing this team that pushes you really hard?" How do you change to that one?
So it depends, right? I would have to place a scenario, but I kind of don't want to. It's too much work. But so say a team is pushing really hard, right? What you could do is you can hold an angle with your team, or you can set up a literal like firing squad of like, I don't know, you bait them into your spawn or something, and you all just hold a different angle or something and just let it rain down on them. But you have the team shot, so you also don't get picked off, because if they're pushing, they're probably pushing as a team, right?
Yep.
That, or you just need to position yourself better. Especially if a team is pushing, right? They're going to be trying to play close quarters, will they not? Therefore, I feel like you could try and put yourself in an open area, but also play it right so that you're not in the open, if that makes sense. Like, play in an open area, try to bait them into the open so you can gun them down, but without putting yourself in the open, because if they're pushing, well, they're probably pushing as a team. You want to isolate the 1v1 and then move on to the next. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
It's a lot easier to break up a team if you pick one off than it is when all three are flying at you.
You kind of just have to switch up positioning, try and isolate a 1v1, or you bait them all in the back and just try and take them out as a team, you know? It just depends.
So how do you combat against really aggressive players that fly in on you?
SMG.
Exactly. And there's multiple ways of going about it.
SMG key.
Literally, yeah.
No, one thing that I've been working on recently is hip firing. Like, I forget that you can hip fire every gun in the game. Like, so if someone's getting close to you, don't be afraid to just, unscope, hit bodies,
spray
melee. Yeah, you can kind of jiggle peek corners and back up, try to reposition as much as possible.
The thing about hip firing is this doesn't apply to hand cannons, only like once in a blue moon, because it's a one-shot weapon, obviously. But with what I've noticed with like pulse rifles and auto rifles is that it no regs a lot with hip firing. Like, there's a lot of no regs. It's crazy. I don't know why that's the problem, but with this season I've been hip firing a lot. I don't know if anyone knows this, but I still use stompies on Hunter because, I mean, there's nothing else to really use, one, and two, a way to negate like the nerf to airborne efficiency, using a hand cannon, just hip fire in the air. Just hip fire. Your bullets literally go where you're aiming.
And no one expects you in the air either, so you already have an advantage if you can hit that shot.
Exactly. The only thing you need to keep in mind, though, is that hip firing, it has less range than you would have ADSing. That's the only thing. So you kind of have to keep that range damage drop off in mind. Like, you can't go for don't jump in the air and try to go for crazy far shots, and then you end up getting beamed because haha, they can do much more damage because they're ADSing and you're not. So it's kind of like a close quarters thing to kind of like somewhat mid range, I guess, mid-ish. But hip fire in the air if you're on Hunter. It applies to Warlock and Titan as well if you want. But I know Hunter is really bad with airborne efficiency, and if you still want to use Stompies and use a hand cannon, and you want to do damage in the air, just hip fire. That's it.
Now, does that also apply on controller though? Because chat's saying that it's a lot harder on the sticks to hip fire.
I don't know. Well, I don't know how good their aim assist
the
is while hip
air?
firing. In the air as well, I don't know. I know it's harder to try and track someone in the air on controller. I figured it's probably harder to do that.
Go headsets. No, it's not.
So yeah, so I don't know. But say if you're on controller, say you're like in a close quarters combat, right? Like basically 5 meters apart, you could still hip fire someone. I feel like it's probably not too bad, right? And if you want to jump to try and get the movement advantage on them, and you jump within that range with a hand cannon, I feel like you still probably hit the shot. Like they're still big enough on your screen to the point where you could probably be able to get your crosshair onto them, right? You don't have to like try and aim at them. You could try and let them walk into your hip fire, right? Or something like that.
Interesting.
Like that's the thing I do on controller, right? Like when I'm sniping or something and they don't acknowledge me, if they're just running in a straight line, I won't try to aim at them. I'll move my crosshair closer to them, but then I'll let them walk into it and then I'll just pull the trigger.
Right.
Like, sometimes I'll do that on mouse and keyboard as well, because then it's like, okay, I don't have to aim. I can just, wait, and then bam, you walk into my fucking crosshair.
No, that's smart. All right. I'm going to open it up. You guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, we're going to get into my favorite part of the Scrim School, and that is the Scrim portion.
Nice.
Basically, if you're new here, the way this works out is we pull in viewers and we run one set of scrims where you guys face each other with the team, and then the teachers flip teams and we run it back. So you two are playing against each other. Surprise.
Oh, good.
And then we'll flip and then we'll roll it back, and we'll go for as long as you guys are feeling up to it. I've had days where it's been an hour on the nose, and then the teachers had to go to bed to fizzle because he hadn't slept in like 40 hours.
Oh my god.
I woke up 4 hours ago, so no worries.
So we gaming. The only thing is I ask that you're in the Discord, and then that way you can make call outs, you can hear instructions, you can ask questions of the guests while you're playing with them, which is huge. And I'd prefer if you were newer trying to learn first. But if we don't have anyone newer that wants to learn, then we will just run scrims and chat.
Little viewer scrims.
Some viewer scrimmages. I like to call them student scrims. They're learning from the professors. That's how this works.
Professors, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I had Professor Walla on last week, so
Oh yeah.
it's gonna have to stick now.
Can I be Dr. Zal?
I like it. Dr. Zal it is.
I like a lot of these people are gonna be older than me. It'd be weird if I'm the professor, bro.
Oh, smart is smart. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I guess so.
So, let me hit you with some IRL real quick while we're waiting to see if there's any more questions. Steve Jobs said, "Always hire someone smarter than you,"
I agree.
because that's the only way that you can learn and grow.
Exactly.
So I think the same
agree.
rule applies in teaching, right? If you know the game better than people that are older, hello, me, hi, I'm here learning too. I don't care what your age is. You know better, and that's how this works.
I'm fucking 12. Shit on you, bro.
Fucking 12. All right, I don't see any more questions in either. Onyx, if you want to direct people over to my chat, or if you have some people that want to jump in, it's just easier to pull the Discord from here. Otherwise, we're gonna go to the be right back screen. If you two need to go
Rocky
get
Point.
a drink of water, or use the restroom, or grab a snack,
That'd be sick.
yeah, and then we will get into the fun part. All right, we'll be back.